start this. We're going to start this again. What a great thing. I just made a mistake and
start over.
Forgot to push the record button. Hey! What's going on, everybody? Everybody out there in podcast land. This is G-Man in the Slave Venture Studio for What's the Matter podcast, episode 54. So you couldn't rehearse what just happened here. Maybe it's probably for the best that our pre-recording conversation didn't happen. He was a little fired up over technology again today.
Don't get me started. It has not been a good technology day. Hit the button and see if it'll let me in and see if the camera will come on.
Hit what button?
It says waiting for host to let you in on Riverside.
I'm not seeing anything.
No? Oh, lovely.
I'm looking forward to it.
It just hates me. This platform hates me.
Oh, no, hold on. People, second camera. Normally there's a little box that pops it. There it is. All right, so hold on, stand by. Yay, you guys.
It may or may not work.
No, what happened to it? It was up there and then it went away.
That is so weird.
Oh, it's uploading something.
Oh, weird. Oh well, it's not.
Can you do it again? Keep trying.
Yeah.
Just let me know. But in the meantime, let me see.
I'm gonna refresh it.
Okay. Bring this up here. Anyway,
okay.
We're saying, oh, there you are. I'll let you in right now. Before you go away again. It went away.
Okay. Yeah, there's something wrong.
Do it. Do it one more time. Let's do. Oh, there it is. Oh, every time I go.
There's something wrong. There's something technically wrong.
Hold on, I'm going to stand by. There it is. Let in.
There it is. Okay. Oh, and the camera's working. How weird is that? This is bizarre.
Yay. Okay. Got it figured out. But there you are.
Yay.
There you are. Okay. Now, now I almost feel like doing it. Let's
start over.
We got this figured out. Well, I'll just edit this out.
Okay.
This whole thing. And then, let's do that.
Can we move this? It looks weird in the corner here.
What's that?
The green screen.
No, I'm going to put it. Stay still. I'm going to put it behind you. I'm going to get a green screen behind you.
Oh, you have something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I just had it. Was it under media? No.
I actually have a stand-up.
It was under layout.
I have one that will cover the whole thing. It's got like pillars. And because this one doesn't quite cover the whole.
No, I think you're right. I'm just going to move it. We'll mess with this later. I don't want to.
There we go. Okay, that looks better. Cool. Yeah, thank you. Okay, let's make this work.
Oh, well, actually, that's what we'll do. So we're just going to keep this going. I'm going to edit it out later. But this is live. So, yeah, I don't know if anybody's listening to this saying, what the heck are these guys doing? All right, let's go. And recording on both sides. Cool. On, everybody out there in podcast land. This is a G-Man in the Slave Venture Studio with beautiful Kel. How are you doing today, Kel?
There we go. I'm doing all right.
We're talking about
We're
mistakes.
having very strange issues today. This is tech is not our friend today.
No, this is fun though.
Yeah.
We got to make it like, what was the one that we did on waiting? We're making the best of while we're waiting.
We're trying
to get these wheels rolling. So welcome back to What's the Matter podcast. We are excited to kind of be back. We've had a few weeks off actually after episode 53, and we were talking about that a little bit. And apologies to anybody that was listening to the live stream. About half an hour in, we had some mix up in scheduling. Let's put it that way. And people were expecting to have the studio at a certain time, and so anyway, so we had to pick up and hit the caboose. So what we've done is again we were setting the studio up, and so it just kind of accelerated in a weird way, even though it took 3 weeks for us to finally get back in here. And so for episode 44 of What's the Matter with Mistakes. So we're going to make fun of ourselves, as I'm trying to do already. And but mistakes, again, kind of in a corny way, I always try to have these little anchor things for Kel to either kind of thumbs up or thumbs down on. But, making mistakes, it's kind of proof, that you're still learning. Right, I just turned 63 years old.
Happy birthday!
Thank you, and I'm still learning.
Oh, of course,
my gosh!
Yeah, you never know.
And I'm learning through mistakes, and so I have a lot of great team members that let me know if I make mistakes. So I'm blessed in that way. But kind of again, we try to put a little positive frame on these episodes. So I want to first point out, that mistakes are not the enemy. We are actually a little update as far as our sponsorship mentioned. We are no longer associated with World Matters Incorporated, at least at this juncture. There's some changes in the organization. They really weren't real excited about doing podcasts and things like that. So anyway, we'll let them work through, what they're going to work through. Good luck, to them, and maybe our paths will come around a little bit later. Who knows? You never know. But you never burn those bridges. I was always, taught that unless you have to, unless it's, strategic in some way. But anyway, mistakes are not the enemy. Real problems, the cover up, right? The repeat pattern that we go through, these kind of blame shifting things or all kinds of things that we'll talk about. But again, last week, look at it as like, mistakes happen. What matters is how fast, we own them. Learn from them, repair what we can do, try to get better. And again, so we're going through some of those things today. So we appreciate you guys going through these growing pains with us. So interestingly enough, this kind of spins Cal off of the glitch, as we're putting it, for episode 53. And so we didn't choose this topic of mistakes. The topic kind of chose us. We've got this little run of these little threads of what we talk about that are different, but they certainly run together. So I do want to mention Dawn and Kathleen Hanley from Just in Time Tux. They were great.
They were wonderful and so gracious about the whole mess.
Took time to, come really down and stuff. And I'm glad that we got to visit, for a while at their tuck shop.
Yeah.
Because that was real casual. And, whereas you're kind of rushing around, there's production things when you're doing the podcast.
Right. No, stuff, it's always great to have them in town too.
I'm glad that I met them. Super, super sweet people.
Aren't they cool?
Well, we were talking about tradition, just to remind you guys that we weren't able to finish, right? And so we want you to know that the tradition segment, it's not dead. It's just kind of temporarily, from a business detective standpoint, it's kind of in witness protection right now. The episode 53 is. And so what do you think? I think that we can probably accommodate finishing that segment via Zoom.
I think that would be great.
We'll do that. So if you want to get in their ear, about that, we'll put a priority on that to kind of make that whole. And so, but anyway, let's see. So let's define our spectrum like we always do, Kel, our mistake spectrum. So we know what we're talking about today. So I got kind of like 4 little buckets. Think of them as buckets that we're going to tap into today. The first mistake it's just an error, right? Just some sort of mistake. It can be accident, like dropping an egg, something like that. Maybe reading a situation a little bit wrong. Just simple mistake. You may seem like first impression type of thing, and you could find out, oh, I'm totally wrong. I was totally wrong
about that first impression.
Yes.
So a bad read,
Sure.
type of thing. We all have assumptions, right? So making the wrong assumption, that can be a mistake, a simple mistake, or some sort of, miscalculation. Thought that speed trap was about 2 miles more up the road. That's a mistake. See? So another...
But getting caught is.
Yes.
Not necessarily the speeding.
Yes. Spoken like a true professional. Professional driver. Another type of mistake is a pattern, right? So this is where we're talking about the same mistake
compounding,
being repeated without, here's the key, being repeated without reflection.
Right.
So
right.
that's what
I just can't imagine
we're going to talk about it because you've run into them. We're both old enough. We've run into all these different things,
all
right?
day, every day.
So another kind of mistake is when there's a cover up. Right. Is where, your ego,
it's not the crime, it's the
makes the mistake bigger though. Right. Instead of just like owning it. I was trying to think of an example, the first one that came to mind, like, again, I shouldn't do this because we are not a political show, but this is truthfully, this is the first thing when it's talking about cover-ups. You can think about all kinds of cover-ups, right, in DC, but the first one was poor Monica Lewinsky.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I'm thinking of the files.
Yeah, I mean, because that's most recent.
Yeah.
I mean, but the first thing, I think because like 96, so I'm like 23. Or no, 33. 33. Yeah. And so I didn't care.
I was 26.
Yeah, and I didn't care. I was just like, dude, if you got service, just like, you'll actually, we already like you because you play sax. If you go gangster and say, yeah, I did it, and I would have respected him more. But no, not the cover up. And so what we're basically referring to is just the ego. Sometimes people, instead of admitting that they make mistakes, their ego can't help themselves. So I don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
No, but that was also a huge distraction.
Well,
it wasn't really about that.
It's all distraction. They're professional distractors.
Of course.
It's political science. It's a science.
But they were covering up all the shit going on in MENA.
Herd management.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now the last one is a mistake where there's a lesson, right? So when a mistake gets converted into better behavior. So those are our 4 buckets that we're going to tap into. One's just this, kind of like innocent error. Like it just happened. So, I broke a glass, I knocked over the cup of coffee or something like that. The other kind of mistake is where there's a pattern where you're just doing something without any kind of reflection or pause. Okay, which doesn't make sense. You're making the same mistake over and over and over. And instead of saying, like, why is this happening? What's triggering me? What am I doing? And of course, the cover up when we talk about ego. And then the lesson is, to me, that's what we should strive towards. That classic corny thing, there are no mistakes in life, only lessons. That's our nirvana today, right? And so mistakes don't ruin people. Refusing to learn from them does, though. I want you to comment on that.
Yeah. Oh, no question. I mean, I'm such a quick pattern I'm so quick with pattern recognition and, self-correction that like it boggles my mind when other people like do the same dumb shit for years, like
I could feel you looking at me when you say that.
Well, not you at all. No, but just I don't get it. Like, I don't understand how people can get stuck.
Well,
doing the same thing for so long.
We're going to process this today. So,
I mean, I guess I do understand it from a biophysiological standpoint, but
yeah, well,
just why people don't want to bust through it and take control back, I'll never understand.
Like, I mean, why do you think though? Like, why do you think people don't reflect on mistakes? I mean, because they probably go, like, if you get arrested, you're going to be regretting it in the moment, right? But then once you get out, then say again,
recidivism,
your ego, you're bragging about it, saying, "Yeah, I spent 3 days in the county clink,"
and
instead of saying, "I don't want that to ever happen again."
Well, but a lot of times they don't know. They don't know any better. Like, they don't know how. They don't necessarily want to keep repeating the same thing, but they have no other skill set. They have no other, We're talking about criminals anyway.
Right.
You know, a lot of times.
But what about not criminals though? Like somebody that just keeps making the same mistake over
Comfort
and over,
zone.
whether it's
comfort zone
in a relationship.
Yeah,
or,
it's a comfort zone issue.
Or yeah.
The miserable known is better than the unknown.
Oh,
People would rather stay in
where
the uncomfortable known versus the, potentially worse unknown. Nobody ever thinks the unknown might be better.
I know what you mean. What time do we got here?
4:17.
All right, we're on time. So when you think about like mistakes, I'm not going to say what's the worst mistake you've ever made, but do you have any kind of?
I have multiple, like where I can peg them the second it happened.
Yeah. You like in the moment you're saying this is a mistake, but I'm going to do it anyway.
No, but in hindsight, I can go back and peg multiple moments in my life that were like absolute forks.
Mm-hmm. What's your process though before you made the mistake? Like was it random?
The biggest one I ever think of. The biggest one I ever think of is when IBM Prodigy told me they wanted to go work for them in White Plains. And I was 18 years old and I said, no, I have a Bon Jovi concert to go to.
Oh no. Yeah.
And that fork, right? I felt it in the moment. I didn't know what it was until much, much later, but I felt something in the moment and my life split.
Wow.
And it was like, either you're going to go to IBM and become a billionaire. I would be a billionaire today had I gone.
Yeah.
This was 1987.
Yeah.
And I would know without question, would 100% not only be a billionaire, I would be in quantum computing. I would have been on the quantum computing team. But I would be a much different person and a much different lifestyle that I did not want in any way at the time.
That's a tough.
I was so anti-IBM. I was already a tech, and I was so anti-IBM at the time. Back then, they had when I did eventually go to work for them, and we had over 500,000 employees. And at the time in '87, when they first wanted me to go with them, they were still wearing the blue suits and singing the company song. Like there was no fucking way I was ever going to work for any cult like that. That was a corporate cult.
Like the 300 Spartans.
Right, right. And I mean, IBM was a corporate cult. And I worked for a subdivision that they had purchased, Lotus Notes, or Lotus 123 was what it started with, but Lotus Development Corp. And we were so dumb and naive. We thought we had an amazing corporate culture. Lotus was unbelievable. And we were so stupid and naive. We thought we could get IBM to change their culture and come to our side.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
We got a peasant uprising here.
Oh, yes. And if you want to talk about not being able to, not learning, I was such a stupid idealist. I was so fucking naive.
Well, you're young. Like, if you're not, what's that old saying? If you're young and not a liberal, you have no heart. If you don't get more conservative as you're older, you have no brain.
Oh no, that wasn't it. That had nothing to do with it. I've always been conservative and libertarian, really.
Yeah, you got me.
Fiscal conservative,
yeah,
socially liberal. But
who were your influences?
Back then,
did you have anybody that was saying you should take this job?
No. And looking back now, it angers me because I was so desperate for a mentor. I was so desperate for somebody to recognize me, that I recognize my potential and my aptitude and take me under their wing. I worked with almost all men. They were scared to death of me. Scared to death. Nobody would help me. So it was a fight the whole way. My entire
So if you would have, you said career. You initially made a mistake though, but then you went back later and then that happened. So I
ended up doing it
you
parallel.
May have been getting in earlier to get out earlier. You see what I'm saying?
Well, I got forced out. I wouldn't have left when I did, but I did it. I'm a have it all type, like, you know, and so I said no to IBM, but I stayed in tech and kept progressing my tech career, and I did the rock star thing. I had that whole, so I mean,
that side hustle.
It was not overall a mistake, but in that moment, there was, it was, you know,
you could feel
I could have had a much different life.
Yeah.
But I don't know that it would have, I don't know that it would have been what I wanted.
I think though, wouldn't you say, like, at this point, I mean, it's probably fairly easy, you know, to go back and say, man, if I would have done this, my life would have been
absolutely.
totally different. You know?
Sure. And I can even tell what would have happened.
Yeah. And then, but again, butterfly effect, there's no guarantee that, like, you may have, say, had this other great life, but life may have been cut short in 15 years.
Sure.
Because of circumstance, being wrong
Which
place, wrong
that was
time,
never,
or whatever, you know what I mean? Who knows?
That was never a consideration, though, because I didn't expect to live past 30.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to kill myself since I was a kid. But there were multiple points in my life that I can track,
right,
where they were like monumental splits. It's either this or this. There's no sort of, you know, well, okay, we can work our way into this, or maybe this will turn into this. No, it was like, it's either this or this, and they were completely different.
And like you said, you could find all kinds of things like that.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
all throughout my life.
And you're not the only one.
Yeah, I'm sure. Oh, I can't imagine.
I'm feeling compelled to start this a little bit earlier.
Okay.
Just because of what we've experienced so far. Let's see. Oh, all right. Laughing Crickets. I am.
Thank you.
There we go. All right. So, as always, Laughing Crickets, they're going to either hit or they're going to bomb. And we're talking about mistakes today. So these normally should have something. So here's a quick one, right? I told my wife, because we were talking about, you know, how to avoid, you know, making bad decisions, right? Mm-hmm. And so I told her, you know, that it's just like, honey, you know, you should embrace your mistakes, kind of like what we're talking about today. And she immediately gives me a hug. I knew you were going to like that one. How did I know?
That's cute.
I got that one just for you, Kel. All right. And hey, do you know who Lee Trevino is?
I do.
Wow. See, that helps. Do you like Lee Trevino?
Yeah. Lee Trevino.
Yeah, he was pretty.
Yeah,
he was funny.
70s guy.
Right? So for those of you who don't know, who's listening to this, Lee Trevino is a Mexican-American who is one of the best golfers and definitely one of the greatest characters in the world in his heyday. But when he was a young man, I don't know if you know this, Kel, even with all of his success, he would still mow his own lawn.
Really?
Isn't that cool? He could afford to pay somebody else, but he would mow his own lawn. I just love this story. So this is the mistake part is because a woman one time mistaked Lee Trevino for a migrant worker.
Oh,
he was young on the PGA Tour, and he's married, right? And one day he was out mowing the lawn in front of his house. He was living in Dallas at the time, but he always mowed his lawn. And I respect that. And so anyway, this one day a woman drove up. She had this apparently big, shiny Cadillac. So she, nice neighborhood, and rolls down her window and says, "Excuse me, sir, do you speak English?" She probably didn't sound like that, but he answered, "Yes, ma'am, I do." And he was articulate. So the woman then asked him, "Hey, how much do you charge to do yard work?" So Trevino says, "Well, lady in this house lets me sleep with her." The lady just drives off. I almost got you to spit.
That was cute.
And that's a true story.
Is it really?
That is a true story. That's why I took this in here. And if you knew Lou Trevino, if you've watched him at all, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So this guy was great.
That is funny.
Oh, now you like, what was that one movie that you said, the vampire movie, the
Lost Boys? Oh,
You
it's my all-time favorite.
Okay, so get your Lost Boys hat on.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're talking about mistakes today, right? So vampires and mistakes. So why do vampires make the same mistakes over and over again? Because they lack reflection. Hey, this is so far so good.
Those are good.
You know, today it's almost like I've been saving up my secret strength or something. Oh man, you're going to get mad at me about this, and back again about my wife. This is an innocent mistake. The other day, she asked me to pass her the lipstick, but I accidentally passed her glue by mistake. She still isn't talking to me. All right, we're 4 for 4. Let's see. I don't know about this one. It's kind of long. All right, the mistake of an old man. Now, the first mistake that he made was that he was contacted by the IRS. Now, again, I know how you feel about the IRS, but they got in touch with him because of some suspicious income. So this guy goes to an appointment with the IRS. The representative's there, but the old man brings his own personal lawyer, right? That's good. That's probably smart. Brings his lawyer with him, so the IRS reps ask him, hey, how'd you accumulate so much money without working a job, owning any investments, anything like that? So the old guy says, well, I make all my money placing bets. Probably lived in Vegas, maybe Reno, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, the IRS reps kind of like, yeah, what kind of bets do you make? And the old man says, hey, I'll bet you $500 that I can bite my eye. Exactly. That's probably what so the rep looks at the old man quizzically and agrees to the bet, right? $500, because there's no way he could torque his jaw biting his own eye, right? So the guy says, okay, yeah, I'll take that bet. So the old man pulls out his glass right eye, takes a small bite to satisfy the bet. You know, so the rep's a little salty because he didn't expect to get tricked, but he gives him $500, right? And then so the old man says, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a chance to get that $500 back. And it says, I'll bite my other eye. And then the rep's nice. He agrees because he knows that the guy's not blind, right? And so can't pull the same thing twice. So they made the bet, $500 bet again. The old man pulls out his dentures and bites his left eye. This guy's smart. He's $1,000 into this IRS rep, which I think is hilarious, right? All right. Old man says, one last try, and I'm going to make this easy. Okay. He goes, I'll bet you $1,000 that I can stand on your desk and pee into that waste bin on the other end of your office. Complete stream all the way in the other, you know, now the IRS rep is hesitant because he's been burned twice right now, right? Gotta have that on there. And so, but the waste can's 15 feet away. He's like, there's no way this guy can do this. There's no way he's going to hit that shot. Nobody can pee that far, even the young people. So the rep shakes the man's hand, bets him $1,000 and lets him stand on the desk. So the old man proceeds to unzip his pants and pees all over the rep's desk. All over it, just pees. Doesn't get anywhere near the wastebasket. He just pisses all on his desk. And so this IRS rep gets all excited and shit. Woo, woo, woo! Give my $1,000, but give it back, you know. And then, you know, he notices the lawyer, you know, has his head down in his hands and is close to tears. And then the IRS guy goes like, "Why are you crying?" The attorney says, "You're not going to believe this, but right before we walked in here, he bet me $10,000 that he was going to be pissing on your desk and you'd be happy about it." Oh, that's all I got.
That's funny.
That was a long one.
Those were good though.
Those weren't bad. Not too bad. So back to mistakes. All right. So let's see if we can get to this next section here. So this second block, we're going to talk about the main matter, which is why do they happen? Maybe more important, Kel, we know they're going to happen, but why do we hate admitting them? That's the
the thing.
Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Right. And so let's do this. So I have 7 big causes of mistakes. So let me list them and then you comment on them. Anything that stands out. Okay. Now the first big 7 causes of mistakes is from rushing, being in a hurry for things, right? Making assumptions, poor communication. We hit on ego, fatigue, lack of preparation. And lastly, fear of asking questions. That's a big one. I saved that one for the last. I think that's right.
Yeah. Fear of looking stupid or
I don't know, just like it's been a long time since I've been on a date, right? But like when you're wanting to get to know somebody, like it's sometimes some of the most important questions, those are probably ones you're most fearful of asking. You know, because especially if you like the person, we talked about that a little bit one time in one of the episodes, you know, as far as, you know, just kind of like faking being a person that you're not until,
right.
You know,
and I think the problem with that is like you like the person, so you're masking, and you have to assume they're masking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if there's mutuality there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like
that's almost why
it's important to ask these questions
for sure. But like the challenge, man, of just say going on a blind date or you know, say being, you know, set up with somebody. There's something to, and I know you knew somebody for a long time before you got into a serious relationship with them, but I still think, you know, that's probably the best approach to like be a friend, you know.
Yeah, all of my every one of my relationships started platonic. Every single one of them.
Yeah, you know. So, I mean, I think that's important.
Yeah,
and you know, but again, there's no, it's not science. You know, love is certainly not a science. But out of those, you know, which one causes the most damage? You know, say between, you know, being in a hurry. You know, sometimes you make a mistake. Especially like again, simplest one is speeding, common. Right? You're in a hurry, you're late, right? And you're speeding, and then boom, now you're later because you got pulled over, right? So that was sometimes a mistake, because you were in a hurry, or maybe like we just had our you know, our pet of 16 years, you know, that we, you know, had to let go, Rainbow Bridge, and you know, we're talking about that last time we were together, you know, but we talked about, hey, like we don't want to be in a hurry. You know, of just going out and just getting another pet. Right. You know, right away, you know, to kind of. Well,
it's like people in serial relationships. They break up with one, the next couple of days they're with somebody else. Like,
yeah.
I don't get that at all.
Yeah. Not comfortable, you know, but again, intellectually processing, again, we want to do some things you know, before we make that commitment. So, but which one do you think would be worse between being in a hurry? You're, you know, kind of like the ego motivated mistake where you're now covering up, you know, for it or putting up excuses, not being honest with yourself, or is one causing more damage? Assumptions, like even just those 3, which one do you think causes the most damage? As far as when I think
the cover up is the worst.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely,
it's like the most pussy.
Absolutely, thing. I think so too.
You know, I just can't understand that.
I don't either.
I was raised to like, we know you're going to do things wrong, right? But when you get caught, you're going to make it worse if you don't lie. Fess up.
Don't
right?
lie. Mm-hmm.
And then I found out also that when I did that I was actually rewarded.
If the parents do it right,
I was actually rewarded
when you come to them after screwing up,
and not just parents though. Like even
bosses or law family, you're right.
Like seriously, like, you know, there's some things,
law enforcement's a little different.
It is
because of how the law itself it works.
Yeah.
So that's.
But there's one thing that's hard and true. I know, being raised with them, is that in the field, you know, if they're asking you a question and if you lie to them, you're done. Over.
You're done.
It's over. You have no chance.
Yeah.
You know, then the only question is whether they're going to write you up or whether they did something that you're going to jail.
Right.
And so now there's something that being said, you know, this isn't, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, any decent defense attorney is going to tell you that you do not say anything. I mean, it's kind of funny. I watch these videos, and again, being raised with law enforcement, thousands and thousands of hours in patrol car with these guys. And, I wait for an opportunity where for some reason they're questioning me. It's just like, I'm sorry, sir, I don't answer questions. I'm just going to be messing with them. And Darcy already knows. She already knows. But seriously,
and
as long as you didn't do something like
it's super egregious. If it's like a little,
there's a little.
They have leeway with some of that stuff. Sometimes they don't, sure. And that's the thing.
That's what I was saying.
But it's when you, I lost the train of thought. Where were we just before that?
Let's see. Well, we were talking about getting pulled over for speeding, being honest with police officers.
The thing with that is innocent people screw themselves because they think the cops are looking for the truth. They're not. They're looking to make a case. They're looking to make a case they can prove. They don't care if you're innocent or not.
Right.
And I know this for a fact because I got convicted of a crime I didn't commit because I was trying to be helpful. I was trying to tell the truth. I was trying to tell the story, of what happened.
Did you end up incriminating yourself?
No. Oh, okay. No. It just the way it all, it was he said, she said is really what it came down to.
Yeah.
And the guy who accused me happened to be a lawyer.
Oh, yeah.
But that's a whole,
back to the good old boys.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. But
it's definitely a club, another club, that they have.
No question.
There's a way to play the game, though. Seriously.
Exactly. And I learned it. I know now, but at the time.
If you get pulled over, first thing I do is apologize. Mm-hmm. Sorry you had to pull me over. What did I do? And, because again, you want them, you want to make them feel like that there's nothing here, right outside of some minor thing that they may have pulled you over for. And again, if I speed, I'm very calculated and strategic.
Me too. When you drive a bright blue car, sports car, you kind of have to, be careful.
That's exactly right. But I try to, for the most part, set it about 5 miles an hour over the speed limit and then cruise. And the only time that I speed is because of cloggage.
Right.
And I got to get past this truck, or whatever, but then I cruise again because I don't want to attract attention.
Yeah. Technically I speed because I go above the speed limit, but I'm not going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, no.
I'm not being reckless.
Yeah.
I can handle it at that speed.
If I ever went 15, I notice it and then drop down.
Right.
Because the basic formula is like, if you're over 5, they ain't even going to look.
They don't even look.
And a lot of times.
Maybe 10 even.
Maybe 10.
Or if you hit the brakes.
It depends on where you're at.
Yeah.
But maybe 10. But for the most part, like I-80 in Sacramento.
Yep.
Everybody.
Oh, the 80. Yeah.
I mean, there's, they're looking for probably more than 15 to 20 and higher.
Yeah.
I mean, then you're on their radar. They will pull you over for that.
I think they need to pull over the slow ones. They're the danger.
Mm-hmm.
Speeders, people, we have an internal governor. You don't drive faster than your body will allow, unless you're under the influence. That's a different story.
Yeah.
But people don't drive any faster than they feel capable.
Right.
And it's the slow ones that think that their job is to be a traffic cop.
And there are
they get in front of you and do dead speed limit.
There is a minimum in some places now.
Yes.
So there's a couple of them that are on what you're talking about. So let's move to the ego mistakes because this is going to be the fun part.
This will be interesting.
This is going to be the fun part. So what do you think about this? The first mistake is human. We all make mistakes.
The error is human. Mm-hmm.
The second mistake is a press conference.
It's like once is an incident, twice is a pattern, three is a habit.
Yeah. People will defend a bad call longer than it would take to fix it. They defend it
so many times. You're just like what are you doing?
We're going to talk about how to better do that, a little bit later. But seriously, the ego, will turn like this little oops moment into a friggin' documentary.
Right? It's so true. It's so true. The stories, that's what gets us. It's the stories we tell ourselves.
And then the drama, right? If somebody
reacts
says,
whatever,
they're just like, whose side do you want? And then all this little power struggles, sometimes it's just like, again, Lord of the Flies shit.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. Like I'm the first one. Like if I make a mistake, I'm like, oh shit, sorry. What can I do? Or I just correct it but like, I don't do cover. Like I'm not into that. Like I don't understand. You know, if I've truly done something wrong, I accept it and I want to correct it.
Right. Well, you don't want to carry any like extra mental weight.
Well, sure.
I just like, why would a person want to do that? Or the opposite, where they just don't give an F at all.
Right.
And because there's that kind of
absolutely.
All,
there are people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Period. End of story. Like they have no interest in hearing what you have to say.
Some people don't correct mistakes. They build a museum around them.
Yes, that too.
So relationship mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, that's how divorce happens. It's because, you know, little errors start to compound, and then, you know, the wife is like, "Hey, you know, can you do your laundry? Can you pick up your clothes? Can you, you know, oh yeah, I'll get to it.
Yeah.
Day and a half later, hey, can you get to your laundry? Yeah, oh yeah, I'll take care of it. Hey, you know, 2 more days go by. Hey, can you please take care of that? Get the fuck off your ass and do this. You're always such a fucking nag. Why do you have to nag me all the time? Blah, 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 blah. If you would have just fucking done it in the first place, which you shouldn't have even had to be asked.
Right.
We wouldn't have this issue.
Yeah.
And this is the crux of so many failed relationships right there.
Yeah, you got to be proactive.
It's like men think they help around the house. Oh, hell to the fuck no. You do your goddamn part. It's your house too. Those are your kids too.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't understand this mentality of, you know, how women ended up doing fucking everything for free.
Well, I don't know that they do everything, Cal.
Well, not in you guys have a good relationship. You're such a rare, truly, you're a good man. There are not many.
There are a lot of women that a study showed that 80% of married women, 80%, if money were not an issue, would not work.
They'd be gone.
Well, no, they would not work outside the home.
Oh, who would? Men wouldn't either. Ask men the same question. They'll be 99%. Nobody wants to work.
Well, it depends. It depends on what it is. Like, you know, like today.
Bullshit.
You know, like
ask men today are huge lazy ass pussies.
Well, it depends on, again.
See, you grew up in a totally different era.
Yeah. Because
like totally different.
You know, the guy doing the door.
I did too.
He like lifted the door up and he was just like, holy shit. And I'm just like, oh yeah, that thing's heavy. I said, where are you going to take this? And then boom, you know, and again, I'm 63. And I said, we got to do this strategically up the stairs. But we made it okay.
Oh, sure.
You know, I wanted to help. You know, there's no way that I don't like. It's like, yeah, it's just, yeah, you're right. I was taught a whole.
So was I.
A whole different thing. And I think it's a good thing.
Oh, I do too.
You know,
I do too. It's just hard to live in today's world.
There are still. I'm just trying to tell you, there are, even though it may be more rare. You know, there are still men like that.
No question. You know, absolutely, there are. Absolutely,
you know, there are families that
most of them are taken.
Kid. Yeah,
you know, most of them are already in relationships.
Yeah,
and you know,
that's one of the hidden things. That's the
hard part. I mean,
girl power. We're going to talk about that. With Shirley.
Yeah, it's
that's going to be a fun.
Yeah.
One. So, what do you think about when I say these little terms? I want you to riff off of them. Okay, so under relationship mistakes, what do you think? Or I guess give me an example of when these terms would apply for a relationship mistake. That'd be better. So the first one, bad timing. How do you get in a relationship mistake with bad timing of some sort?
There's attraction there. You like each other, but it just, you're in different places in life where it's just not aligning.
I was thinking,
my boy out in South Carolina, that was kind of
I was thinking of, now this could be, again, male or female, right? Let's say either gender loses their job and they're just freaking bummed, right? They're just bummed and they're not in a relationship, you know, and they go out and they're like, you know, knocking a couple down, you know, and then there's a caring person that finds out and they think that the other person is just totally sweet to care so much. So there's bad timing, whereas it was a job loss, but it equates to you being kind of letting your guard down because of that bad timing. So I guess my point is maybe don't look to get into a relationship when something kind of negative happened. It's not,
absolutely.
It's
that job loss is a major life change.
And that's just
there's a list of the major life changes, birth, death, divorce, you know, blah, 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 and marriage.
Yeah.
And
because you kind of have this little opening or a scar of some sort, right? That there could be somebody, even manipulative people may recognize that and
prey on you. Oh,
prey on you,
absolutely they do.
Mhm.
Absolutely they do. That you have to be very careful of looking when in a vulnerable position. And it's counterintuitive because people, when they're down, they're lonely, they're depressed, they want to share with somebody, they want to offload the burden, they want somebody else to be there. But if you're not already in a relationship, trying to find one at that point is not a good idea. And a lot of people will do that as a replacement. You know what I mean? It's like,
Exactly.
oh, damn, I lost my job.
Exactly.
Well, let's go to the bar and see if we can meet somebody.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
that distraction, that escape. It's a form of escape. People use relationships as a form of escape.
Now, what about this? Now, this kind of made me think about, the girls that like the bad boys.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I was ever a bad boy. I knew how to push the envelope a little bit, and so the term under relationship mistake, the term bad tone, what do you think of? Like, say, being on a date and there's this bad tone.
Oh,
just little edgy.
I would take that either way. That could either be bad energy or the tone that the person speaks to you with.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bad tone. Like, just like, I mean, I can't even think off the top of my head of an example, but, just where they're not, they're dismissive or negging or
belittling.
Belittling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any of that. Manipulating, any kind of,
Exactly.
bad tone.
What about a relationship mistake with the term assuming intent? Either or.
Yeah. I think what happens in that case is women assume the intent is of a relationship is to get to know the person,
Right.
to be with them, to share lives, and there's steps. Men think that the intent is to get the girl and get laid.
Absolutely.
Like men are taught.
I'm not going to lie.
And this is a huge problem because
you're at least hoping if you find them attractive, you're definitely, especially in the
right.
younger
And
years,
women,
where you're
like quality women, never, ever, 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 ever think that. Ever.
That's true.
Ever.
That's
Quality
true.
women are never there.
Yeah.
And men that push it, block to burn. See ya.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah.
Don't even bring that shit up.
Yeah. That's it. That'd be an interesting.
It's a big B2B on the apps. If they mention sex, that's an instant block.
Yeah.
See ya.
That'd be interesting. If I don't know how they would garnish this statistic, but like for how many successful marriages, and you'd say, okay, successful marriage, they, past 25 years or more. I mean,
that's not necessarily. That's a long-term marriage, not necessarily successful.
Pick a number.
Time does not determine any measure of success in relationship.
Well, long-term then. Long-term. Yeah. So the ones that kind of stand the test of time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put it like that. Because you're right. Like it could be a successful marriage, and then
my parents were married three months from 50 years,
right,
and were miserable.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that part, but I'm saying that again, same type of thing. I only hope that somebody that's married that long, most of them are happy with each other. They figured out a way to be happy.
Tolerate.
Now that might not have been your experience,
mm-hmm.
but that doesn't equate, to the reality of,
look at the divorce rate.
It's like 50%. That's what I'm saying. So most of the time, people that make it and don't get divorced,
it would be higher if the economic situation weren't.
Yeah, so 50%. So take out 50% of the people that don't get divorced, mm-hmm. and they live and somebody dies or somebody's widowed or something like so. They stand the test of time. Mm-hmm. When people first get married, they would probably look at that as a successful marriage because they never got divorced. They figured out how to work through all the things that we all go through in relationships.
They shoved it aside because it was too much trouble.
I know you keep coming back to that.
That's primary. It's primary.
So I know your predisposition, mm-hmm. but what I'm saying, because I've been married 20 years and now 25.
Mhm.
And you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so that's, are you happy every day? No, but it's up to you as a couple to work on it. And does it always work? No. That's why there's 50% marriages that fail. I think the second time around, though, I think the stat's something like 80, something like that. Because you learn,
Mhm.
right? You learn from your mistakes.
Mhm.
You know what to do and
Theoretically.
what not to do. Yeah, but I mean, I think it would be a sad testament to think that if you're correct, that the only most of the successful marriages are people that are miserable, even though they have a successful marriage.
You're equating time with the success. By success, I mean quality.
Yes. Well, I mean, yeah, that's the point. But
people get stuck.
But that's the
I'm in forums all day long.
Yeah.
With women talking about this. If I could get out, I would. I don't have the money. I'm stuck.
Uh-huh.
He sucked me in and told me I didn't have to work. I gave up. I had kids. Now I don't know what to do. I hate his guts. He hates me.
So is the solution to abolish the institution of marriage?
I don't believe in it.
Uh-huh.
This is the problem.
Well, do you remember why it started?
It was property.
Exactly.
Property rights. That's all it is. It's a civil property contract.
Well, because
people
back in the day, just to kind of remind you probably know this, but maybe you don't. So the world thousands and thousands of years ago, as compared to now, it used to be pretty barbaric, right?
It still is. We just cover it up.
Well, I mean, again, valid point, but the point is that back to why did marriage start? Because nowadays, as compared to back then, you could have Genghis Khan or people come and rape and pillage and stuff like that. There was no protection. There was no legal protection in the kingdoms. You know what I mean? And stuff like that.
Right.
So,
yeah, women.
However misguided it was, that exactly was the original reason for marriage.
They still are in some countries.
Yeah. And then, of course, over time, we all know, that women were treated as property, and now here we are in 2026. That's not the case anymore, right? That's not the case. But marriage is still here, and so why? Because
of marketing. It's an industry.
I was getting ready to say,
a multi-trillion-dollar industry.
Right.
That's the only reason it still exists.
How could that happen then? How are you going to, in Kel's world, get rid of the institution of marriage?
I wouldn't get rid of it.
Right.
I would probably alter it. Because what happens is people get stuck on the idea that the marriage is the relationship. It is not. It is a legal container for your shit.
Correct.
All marriage is a civil property contract
Especially
that determines
nowadays.
What happens with your stuff when you break up.
That's it.
That's it.
Right.
And people, have this whole fantasy, this goddamn Disney delusion of the big parties. And I mean, I'm in the industry, tens of thousands of dollars people spend on this shit for one day.
Yeah. Oh, it's ridiculous.
One day.
So I see what you're saying though, because like you're saying that the institution of marriage is kind of like this North Star
it's a delusion. I think what it should be is if people enter into a relationship and want to protect their stuff, they enter into a civil property contract. But it has nothing to do with the relationship.
They could do that.
Right. Yeah. That's what I think it should be.
Yeah, they could do that.
Prenup, postnup, whatever. But
what I was going to say,
equating the two is what gets me.
And I agree with you, because it's kind of like, again, that Disney thing where it's just like, hey, if you get married, you're going to live happily ever after, blah, blah, blah. That's a social thread that's put in there. Whereas when you get married, man, your work is just starting, right? You're just beginning. And because we're programmed into that, I think a lot of young people do get married before they're ready.
Oh yeah.
That probably contributes, to that.
Not so much anymore though.
Not so much anymore.
Women are saying absolutely not.
Yeah. Yeah, the statistics are
high.
The statistics are down for kids that are getting married.
Right, but the numbers are high for women who are single and childless.
Yeah,
and plan to stay that way.
Exactly, and so they see their little tax base going away. Because if they're not popping out babies, then there's less cattle. For them to milk their taxes from. So
yeah, but aren't they looking to mass depopulate anyway?
Are you talking about the Great Culling? Yeah, that's the rumor, and so
whatever. I don't care. I could care less.
I wouldn't doubt it. Let's put it that way. Interesting. What's going on?
I think it's like when people are like, yeah, I'm not having kids. I think it's a good thing because so few are
they're
remotely
not
ready to qualify to raise
Yes,
another human being. They
exactly.
can't even take care of their own goddamn self.
Just because you can have a kid doesn't mean that you should.
Exactly. Well, I've said forever, you need a license to fish, cut hair, drive a car, but any idiot can have a kid.
Yep, exactly.
And create a human. Are you kidding me?
All you need is a good time on a Friday night. Saturday will work too. All right, now relationship mistakes. We talked about this a little bit before. Keeping score. You kind of did that in a relationship, but if but that's understandable too because if there's inequity, then over time, that's going to erode a person and the relationship, very significantly. Another mistake. Oh man, trying to win instead of repair. Yeah. That's a good one.
That's a huge. That's another
huge mistake.
Huge mistake, and another way that relationships break down.
Yep. Saying I'm fine when you are collecting emotional receipts. That doesn't help.
No.
Right. Again, so the fear of that
denial.
Discussion.
Yeah.
Nope. No bueno. All right. So let's talk about mistakes in work and business. Overpromising.
Oh God. The worst.
Don't do it. Make sure that you can cash that check. Under communicating. Again, we talked about that at the beginning of the show. that could have fixed a lot. Right there. Oh, we're living this, not checking the equipment, not having a backup plan.
Right.
You got to have a backup plan. Right. In business, mistaking, man, this is so important. Getting your pricing wrong.
Oh, absolutely.
That is huge.
Huge.
There's ways to go about that. Give me a call. Hiring wrong, the talent pool. I hear this so much. It's and again, there's.
It's just another relationship.
Oh man, it's like again, Kevin. What's his name? Didn't like him. Kevin. Can't remember his last name. But two things that you need when you hire somebody. One is that they're hire a person that's capable of doing the job. Right?
The Shark Tank guy.
Yeah. That's exactly what it was.
I forget his last name. I should know. It's been in the news. Kevin.
It's like a Irish. Seems like it's Irish.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Kevin.
The data center guy. The Salt Lake City data center guy.
And the second thing was somebody that's capable, and then somebody that cares about doing their job. You care about doing, and I'm like still competitive. It's like, like I was in here just cleaning up the last few days, just like, man, just like do your best. I can still hear my grandpa. Do it right the first time.
Do it right the first time. I have a money clip that was my dad's from U.S. Steel that says MIRFT, make it right the first time.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that was a huge campaign.
We love acronyms.
U.S. Steel.
Last one under business mistakes, waiting too long to tell the truth. And it doesn't have to be to somebody else. Sometimes it's yourself. Yeah.
Yourself.
Waiting too long to tell the truth. Mistakes are expensive, but hidden mistakes are usually bankrupt.
Yeah. Yep.
So, all right. So let's do, where's it at? There it is. Lightning round. Oh, yes. Man, I haven't been paying attention. I could have been having more sound effects, going on. If you guys hear a fart, that was a sound effect. All right. So lightning round, mistake, or is this just a general red flag? Okay. For forgetting a birthday once.
Oh, it happens.
It happens.
Yeah. It's just.
Now the grandkids, that's a red flag. I guess it would depend on who it is.
Yeah. I wasn't thinking family, but yeah.
Don't forget your mom's birthday.
Yeah.
That's really bad. Okay. Lightning round, mistake or red flag, being late every time.
I have to throw a red flag on myself.
On yourself.
Yeah.
No, you're not late all the time. You're not late. You weren't late today.
ADHD time blindness. I'm never late. I mean, I'm never more than 10 minutes.
Well, you know what? Plus, and you always have to consider what's.
And I usually call, I'll say, hey, I'm
at risk too.
Right.
Like, right. If you're late, to get the podcast started, you're just like, oh, great, he's cool.
Yeah.
We'll get it done.
That's if I need to be somewhere,
if you
I
were
make
late
it.
and you were going to be penalized $100,000, you would never be late.
If it's really important, I can
You can
get
do
there.
it.
I can get
You
there.
can do it. I love it. Mistake or red flag when you reply all to emails.
Oh, that's a mistake. That's a huge mistake.
Yeah. Or unless you're
unless you're
right?
required to, or you're doing it for drama. Like you're like sending that flame email at work, you know, to tell your boss to fuck off and you're going to leave or whatever, and you reply all, and you know, I've had that happen. We had that happen at the radio station. We had a client go rogue on us and reply all to everybody, all the station people.
Like which one?
Trying to slander us.
No,
this was 6 years ago.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you that story.
Okay, yeah.
That was crazy.
Okay.
That was crazy.
Red flag or mistake? This is still under business. So mispronouncing a name after being corrected.
Oh, that's a red flag. That's a terrible red flag.
Man.
That's disrespectful.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
You better
I have a friend named Adham, and every once in a while I slip and call him Adam, and then I'll correct myself.
Adham.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's Colombian.
Yeah. So I assume that's spelled A-E-H-A-M.
Yeah.
So literally that tells you how to say his name because it's like an ad.
Yeah.
Right. And then just see that I would, so this book in the 90s I wrote called Super Memory. So you know what mnemonics are, right?
Yes.
So you know
that's
what?
A great book.
I have, like, for his name, I would totally be having a big old thing of ham at the calculator.
Oh, I was thinking an advertisement, like a movie, like a commercial.
And a ham is adding figures, So whatever. But anyway, that is important, especially after being corrected.
Absolutely.
I'll let you know something. Like everybody's name is personal to them.
Right.
Even the most, nobody wants their name mispronounced. Now, some people will say that, but deep down inside, they can't. They'll pay attention to somebody that doesn't care how to pronounce their name after that person's been told how to pronounce their name. They'll notice that. And then they won't care. Sure. And then they won't care.
Well, like when I tell people to call me Kel, my name's Kelly, but call me Kel, and they call me Kelly.
Yeah. If that ever happened, that would be an accident. Because once you tell me.
I mean, for anybody now, like, because I introduce myself as Kel now. But when I was Kelly Rush, and I'd say, call me Kel, I understand when people don't necessarily do that. But now when I introduce myself as Kel and say it's short for Kelly, I expect them to call me Kel.
Yeah. So that's Kelly.
Usually I'll say
Kelly's my legal name.
Yeah. Kelly's my government name. Kelly's what my mother called me when she was mad at me.
It was on the FBI wanted poster.
Yeah.
I like this one. So red flag or mistake, saying my bad with no change.
It depends on what I mean, to me, my bad is like you mispronounce somebody's name.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's Adham, not Adam. Oh, my bad. And then, but if I kept calling him Adam after that, no, that's a red flag.
I think the key is
if that's
with no change.
With no change.
Yeah, that's a red flag.
Yeah,
that's more.
or if it's a repeated,
that's a red flag. You are not. You're not
owning it.
You're just wanting to adjust the mistake.
You're deflecting.
Because these are all under mistakes.
Yeah.
Is this just a mistake or is it a red flag?
Yeah.
The red flag being the worst. Right. So if there's no change, that's, to me, I agree.
Yeah.
It's a red flag.
And to me, like when I use my bad, it's usually like, oh, my bad, I misunderstood. It wasn't like an actual thing where there's something to correct. My bad is kind of like owning a little thing in the. So, I'm sorry.
Sorry about that.
I didn't know.
It's
you didn't know. You weren't aware. It's not like an actual.
Mm-hmm. Or even just a simple oops.
Yeah. Oops. My bad is oops to me. Yeah.
Exactly. So we live this today. So mistake or red flag, forgetting to hit record.
Mistake.
Okay. I was just making sure.
The classic Zoom. Like, if I had $1 for every Zoom call I was supposed to record and forgot.
Red flag or mistake, asking for help too late.
That can be one or the other. It depends.
Yeah.
I think it can be a mistake if you were trying to do the thing, thought you had it. Oh, nope,
Yeah.
not going to make it. Or if.
But the key is too late.
Yeah, I think.
Asking for help too late. Asking for help's not a mistake.
No, not at all.
But
it's
too late.
Definitely. And I think on the other side of that, it could be like you're, letting it go. You're drowning, expecting somebody, to help.
Well,
or
again, disappointment happens with expectations that were not signed off on by the other person.
Of course. But I think that can be a double.
Yeah.
It could be
either or.
Yeah.
Oh, this one's not very nice. So is this a mistake or a red flag when you blame an intern?
Oh, that's a red flag.
Right?
Don't do that.
What kind of freaking
Don't
leader
blame
is
down.
that?
You don't ever.
Dude.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Like exactly.
No. You correct down, blame up.
Last one. Mistake or red flag when you don't own it immediately.
That can be a mistake as long as you own it. It might take you a little time to get there.
Immediately. Owning, like, so this tells me that the mistake is obvious or known by yourself or others, maybe both, and then you don't own it immediately. So is that a mistake or a red flag?
No, like,
I think it's a red flag.
I think it's a red flag.
It should be part of leaderships where, like, if you are, like that's just like displaying your humanity to the people that you're leading.
Right.
We all make mistakes, including myself. Because if you try to be this or portray that you're this perfect person that doesn't
superior.
make mistakes,
no,
that you're eventually going to lose them.
Horrible.
You're going to lose them.
Absolutely.
So I personally think that
I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like not doing it immediately.
It can be
somewhat of a red.
Yeah,
flag.
if it's glaring and everybody knows you screwed up.
Yeah, because why wouldn't you own it? Like right away, that leads you just like, is it the person's ego?
Yeah, I'm just thinking.
We were talking to how bad that is, right? So just like point being, like if you make a mistake, it doesn't matter who you are.
Right. Oh, it absolutely doesn't matter who you are.
Just own it. I tell you what, we would respect those people that we don't talk about a lot more.
Yes.
If that would happen right there. Okay. Next block. Okay. So the human side of shame, blame, and learning the hard way. So I put this as like a spiral, right? Like you're going into this shame spiral because that can happen too. Ooh. Like you really feel so bad and ashamed or something that you did that you just go like way too far, down that hole. So that versus accountability. So for example, shame, if you're shameful, kind of in a self-loathing type of thing, you would say something like, I'm just terrible.
Yeah.
Right. But so you don't need to, but the accountability part, you're instead of saying, I'm sorry, I'm just so terrible. There again, there's that negative programming to where if you're just accountable, just like, I am so sorry, I apologize, I need to repair this.
Right.
So like, let me know if you feel different, but what I want to do is this, X, Y, Z, right? Well, so the difference between shame and accountability.
People do that self-shame thing to hurt themselves before the other person can do it.
Oh, that's
what that is.
Oh.
That's like, I'm gonna
beat you to
I'm
the
gonna
punch.
beat myself up so that if you then pile on, I already did it, so I can, that won't hurt.
But what if that other person doesn't know that you've already done it or care that you've done it? They still want to pile on.
Oh, that's fine. But in your mind, this is internal. In your mind, You're like, yeah, I already know I'm horrible. Nothing you do to me is going to make it worse.
Gotcha. So it's kind of like the self-protecting thing. By the time they're, say, attacked by this other person, they've already beat themselves up enough. And it's, okay. All right. Shame often leads to hiding. Accountability leads to action.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And again, I like that juxtaposition.
Yep, I do too.
That's much better.
That's good.
You can't learn from a mistake if you're too busy hiding from it.
Right. I mean, it's just...
Own it.
Yeah.
Own it. All right. So blame culture. Blame protects ego for the short term, but blame kills trust
Oh,
for the long term.
absolutely.
Some people would rather lose the relationship than lose the argument. Like, know that. Some people they don't care. Kind of like makes me think of George Carlin again. You know, they don't care about you. They'd rather lose the relationship
Right.
than lose the argument.
Right.
Debate is so dead. Seems like it's
Honestly.
all about
This is
somebody
the
doesn't
thing.
think the way that you do, there can't be any kind of discussion and even curiosity. Why do you think like we've been doing this for a while now?
Over here.
And I hope you feel like, you know, we don't always agree.
No.
But I've never left anything angry, upset with you. Not
Never.
even close.
No,
because I'm
think
curious.
Of course.
Like, why do you think like that?
Absolutely.
You know, either for me or maybe through the discussion, you know, I can help the other person learn.
Yeah.
You know, and vice versa.
I agree.
You know, so
No, I never understand that. Like, to me, it's just so immature. You know, like, well, you know, with you know, R versus D, you versus me, red versus blue, me versus you.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, we all bleed the same color, man.
Honestly, I mean, it's like, can't we all like stand over here, look there, and go, that's fucking insane. What are we doing? Like, how is it that people are so stuck in their own delusion and distortion,
lack of evolution,
that they refuse to open up to anything else? That's where the problem lies. You can be rooted in whatever you want.
Right.
At least be open to listening to other perspectives, not with the idea of taking it on necessarily, just with the idea of hearing another energy, another input.
I like that way you put that.
You know,
another energy.
Yeah.
Because really that's all it is.
And people act like you're offended, like you're stabbing them sometimes.
Right.
I mean, you know, because I can be brutally honest because I cannot stand when people get caught in their own bullshit.
Yeah.
And they're so wrapped around in their story. I'll cut right through that and go, do you realize this? Because nobody else will. I'm livid because I lived in over half a century of delusion because people let me. You know what I mean? Like, there were clear times where I later learned different than what I was doing, saying, acting, whatever, where I'm like, why the fuck didn't anybody stop me? Why didn't anybody say anything? You know, like, that was just dumb. That was wrong. That was whatever. It goes back to my idea of corporate mentoring. Like, my whole life, I've been like, you know, I was looking around like, somebody help me here. Somebody, you know.
Right.
And nobody would, you know, I would see people all over corporate, you know, different places getting taken under wings and, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm just like.
Kind of like outside looking in.
Exactly. And then I realized, okay, screw them all. You know, nobody's going to help me. I need to, you know, silo up.
What do you think about this? So again, thinking about work, corporate, you know, whatever company, even relationships, I guess. Good teams fix the system, not just the person.
Absolutely. Because it can be, you know, if it's one person kind of screwing up the thing, okay, it's the person. But if multiple people are falling in this whatever, yeah, you need to fix the system. It's not the people. You know, I've seen this at companies before where it's so broken and people are turning over, and they're blaming the people.
Exactly.
And I'm just like,
I share that with you too. You know, because again, it's we're complex, but in some things we're very simple.
Right.
If you're going to go trade your time with the people want to be paid, they want to be respected. You know, they want to kind of have hope, you know, for a brighter future. And so if the system that you're employing in your business isn't kind of coinciding, you know, with those things, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
You know, you're definitely going to have a lack of retention, turnover, and things like that. And again, not another exact science, because there's so many things where you're located, you know, what type of state, society, local community?
Oh,
do you
absolutely. The
have
culture.
Yeah, I mean, so it is a challenge. Okay, so
People are
this
messy.
section right here, we'll end it with blame is the emotional version. I think you'll like this. Blame is the emotional version of throwing glitter on a crime scene. Because the mistake happened, right? So blaming somebody, again, maybe it's a misguided kind of metaphor.
I don't know that I would choose glitter, but
if you,
I know what you're saying.
if
Yeah,
you-
like you're
it's kind of
throwing
like
mud on it or whatever.
Yeah, you're just you're not. I guess you're not taking it as serious
Right.
as it should be taken, because you're taking the easy way
Yeah.
By blaming.
Yeah.
And again, if there's anybody to blame, why don't you blame yourself first?
Right.
If
I mean, unless
mistakes
it's absolutely
happen.
not
For
really
sure.
your fault, but
if there's
like
if
what
you have
part-
if you have a part in
Yeah.
something that had a mistake,
My
why not
question
looking
is-
at what part is mine?
my first question
Yeah.
is always what I always go inward first.
Right.
Like, what did I do? What could I have done? What happened? Unless it's an overt, act that somebody just did. But I always go, what is my part in this?
How many apologies before people are allowed to stop believing you?
Oh, that's a tough one.
What?
Go
ahead.
Apology and correction, if it's different issues, you keep screwing up different issues and you keep apologizing, but you fix whatever you messed up. Okay, maybe. But yeah, if all you do is just,
Or
I'm
after
sorry,
you mess
I'm sorry.
up, when you fix it, you actually make it better.
Mm-hmm.
That's rare.
That's what I try
That's
to
rare. Yeah, but Lord, boy, I
But
tell you set
most-
yourself apart if you do that.
Well,
right?
most
And if
people
that's
aren't
important to you.
even trained that. Most people are like raised for like minimum, the lowest common denominator. It boggles my mind,
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not
like,
sure. I don't know if it was taught or if it's just the way that I am. It's just like, again, I have fun winning,
Mhm.
but again, I have fun playing the game.
Right.
The game,
right.
it's the game. That's the most fun, is playing in the game. And then if you win, if you prepare to win and success happens, and of course, most people think about stuff like that in sports, but there's all kinds of ways that you win in life. Sometimes you win by not getting what you want,
Right.
but you either become a better person as a result of it, or you help somebody else become a better person as a result of you not
Mhm.
winning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's kind of semi deep there, but
I'll take one for the team. Like
Yeah.
I will consciously, take myself out. And I've done that many times
mhm.
where I'm like, nope, there can be a better result here. I need to just pull out of this. Let somebody else take it.
Yeah, I do that too with team boxing. What's the verdict? Okay, so thumbs up or thumbs down? The cover up is worse than the mistake,
Oh, definitely.
right?
Yeah, we've heard that our whole lives. The cover up's worse than the crime.
Thumbs up or thumbs down? Some mistakes are unforgivable.
Yeah.
They are.
Absolutely.
Doesn't mean you shouldn't ask for it. Ask for
And-
forgiveness.
and-
Say, I know you'll never be able to forgive me, but
Here's-
I'm going to ask anyway.
Here's the thing, though. I have a different perspective on forgiveness than most people do. Forgiveness is not letting the other person off the hook. It's not an absolution of the other person. Forgiveness is
Exactly.
forgiving yourself for having fallen into the situation.
Yeah, I agree.
It's forgiveness is
Yeah.
that people get caught on that because we're taught,
forgive-
oh, you should forgive, you should forgive, you should forgive. Yeah, you should forgive yourself.
Yeah.
The other person is irrelevant.
Yeah, and it's to be able to clear yourself, because you don't want
You don't want to be stuck in that.
hate.
Yeah,
to be
exactly. It's
inside.
a cord. It's an attachment.
All right, what's the verdict? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Mistakes build character.
Yes, they can. They should.
You should. That's right. Thumbs up or thumbs down? If you repeat it, it's not a mistake anymore. It's a habit.
It's a pattern.
Pattern, yeah.
And then it becomes a habit if it stays.
Yeah, true.
If the pattern
Yeah.
persists.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely.
Okay. Thumbs up or thumbs down? A good apology fixes most things.
A genuine one does.
Yep.
Yes.
Genuine.
Taking true accountability for your
Genuine.
part in
Yep.
in a rupture is critical,
Yeah, genuine and
actionable, like
and
repairable.
no, most, right? Genuine and most. Those were the key words, to that, to me, because not all. A good apology doesn't matter how good the apology. Sometimes, again, you're not going to deserve, somebody to say, "Hey, we're good."
Yeah.
But
well,
hopefully not a lot.
Sometimes, sometimes people will do, something deliberate and then want to apologize and be absolved for it. No, that doesn't work that way.
Thumbs up or thumbs down. People are too sensitive about mistakes these days.
Some people are definitely. And it's weird because we had gotten to a point. Oh, geez, I keep hitting this poor thing. We had gotten to a point where, like, we were expanding for a while. Like, we were just kind of the energy of American society was far more open and cooperative and forgiving, and like all of a sudden, recently, over the last 10 years or so, as media has ramped up incessantly, I think it has to do with so much visual exposure to each other or other people and what they're doing that it just distorts what reality. It distorts what's really going on because, and of course now with AI, it's going to get even worse.
Yeah, because when I was traveling a few years ago, man, it's true what they say. I'm sure bad people are out there, but most of the time, like strangers,
most people
they're cool.
Want to be good. Well, look at all the World
totally
Cup.
Cool.
Look at all the World Cup attendees that were raving about how wonderful we are and how mad they were that they've been fooled by their media to think that we were these raging assholes.
Right.
And so, I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot going on.
Free chips and salsa? Are you kidding me?
Drink refills. Drink refills.
And how
freaked them
how big
out.
The big gulps
the size, and that you could just go get another free one or coffee.
Yeah. We're spoiled. We are spoiled as compared to
no
most
question.
places in the world.
No question.
And that's what happened. They came here and they're like, "Holy shit, you guys ain't got nothing to complain about," So yeah, it's a good lesson.
It really is. It was fun to watch a lot of those because I couldn't care less about soccer. I really can't stand it.
Yeah,
but I watched a lot of the videos from all the people, and it was heartwarming.
It was great
because what it did was it made me proud of us.
Yeah,
like I know those people.
Yeah.
I was one of those people at one time. I mean, I used to host exchange students and things like that, and I've been overseas where I've seen the ugly American in action.
Oh,
and it's, not me, obviously, but it's gross. And
you know how to make sure that people don't think you're American? Don't wear a baseball hat.
Right. Oh, yeah. Well, I never would, but yeah, that's true.
Like a big identifier.
Yeah, it is. That's a good point. That's really true. But, it made me feel good that okay, good. There's still enough of us out here, caring about others and, wanting to welcome and things like that. Cause
it was very cool.
I think we're more curmudgeonly against each other.
I only watch soccer once every 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
But I can say I watched more this World Cup probably because we were hosting.
Yeah.
Probably that's probably the reason why. But
the thing they were most fascinated with was how far they could travel within the same state.
Yes.
How just hours and hours and hours. They're like, we're England, we're like 3 hours and we're at the sea, or we're in Ireland or we're,
Oh, the landmass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, blew them away.
Blew them away.
All right, 2 more. What's the verdict? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Embarrassment is a good teacher.
Yes, can be.
Embarrassment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how could you be embarrassed and not be taught something?
Right.
Last one. Most mistakes come from rushing.
Say again.
Most mistakes come from rushing, being in a hurry.
I wouldn't say most. I would think
many.
When rushing, most mistakes happen because of it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say most mistakes happen because of speed.
Good distinction.
But yeah, if you're rushing and not keeping your head in pace with the speed.
Yep. Now I'm going to run through these matters of fact real quick. People make more mistakes when they're tired, stressed, rushed, or emotionally flooded. We talked about that many episodes. Mistakes become more damaging when people hide them, right? You can understand it, but again, if you're called out, then it's time to fess up.
A mistake that could affect others.
Yep,
a mistake,
absolutely.
that only affects you is no big deal.
Exactly. Teams and relationships recover faster when people communicate early.
No question.
Right? Learning requires feedback, repetition, and adjustment.
Yeah.
Those three things: feedback, repetition, adjustment. A mistake with a repair attempt builds more trust than a hidden mistake with a fake smile.
Oh, always. Of course.
That's a good one. 5-minute mistake audit. So let's do this. So if there was a mistake that was made, right? Step 1, ask yourself what happened. Seems simple.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Like, whoa, what happened there? And that's your first step. You start exploring
Trace
what the
it
heck
backwards.
happened. Exactly. And ask yourself, did I assume something? Like, what did I assume? That kind of possibly led to this. Ask yourself what was controllable. Right? That's important.
What did I have control over? Yep.
Yeah. And what did I not? Number 4, ask, what does this cost yourself?
Yeah.
Because again, if it's a big thing, then that's different than if it's like you said, if it's something, I broke an egg.
Yeah. I was going to say, drop milk on the floor.
Yeah, exactly.
Spilled the coffee.
And then ask yourself, what, if anything, will I change next time? Next time something like this happens, make sure that it doesn't. Just so real quick. I mean, that seems like a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised, as Kel mentioned, that people sometimes they just nobody's had a mentor. Nobody taught them that there's ways to process thinking instead of being so reactionary to your environment or the people that you may have learned from or hang around and things like that.
And we also we think everybody's like us. You know what I mean? We think, but for the most part, we kind of generally think people have the same kind of knowledge that we do, the same general, same sort of a collectivism between us that really isn't true.
No, we are so different.
We're so different.
So different.
And then
many ways.
So many ways. I mean, we have our core commonality as humans, but as personalities, as personas, as egos, it's, there's 8.2 billion different universes all being lived at once on this globe.
Crazy.
And so few of us take that into consideration. And we just think that, why don't you agree with me? Why don't you understand from my perspective point of view?
Yeah.
And then people don't ask. They don't, I dig.
Or even
I want to know.
Thinking that
there's another way.
Or that everybody should think like you.
Right.
Because that's just it's so impossible.
And there's a collective delusion that, especially in the spiritual community, the New Age spiritual community, that we're all one. Okay, yeah, we are, but people completely mistake what that means. They think we're all supposed to be alike and do the same things and feel the same way and love each other. And that is so delusional.
Never going to happen.
And it's never going to, it's this construct isn't designed for that.
Right.
We are a duality, polarity construct.
Right.
That's how we evolve, by crashing the two into each other and going, wait, there's got to be a better way.
Yep, exactly.
And climbing up the ladder and just, because I know there's this collective delusion because I used to be part of it. I used to believe that and would get upset in life because people wouldn't comply. What do you mean you don't think this or believe that or want to do this? Or I really believed that all people at some level were trying to do better. I no longer believe that in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
At all.
No way.
Nope.
Nope.
I also used to believe all people had some good in them. I no longer believe that either.
No, that's exactly
all people are redeemable. I no longer believe that either.
Not everybody. See, it's that all. It's those little words like that.
And people who have the kind
absolutes.
People who have the kind of hearts we do, the empathic hearts we do, want everybody to feel as good as we do. You know what I mean? To understand that it can get better all the time, that, you know, we can always be improving. We can always be doing better. And, you know, I just, you know, to think and to know, to experience that there are people actually out there actively working against the idea of everyone doing better just boggles my mind. I don't understand how that can be, but, you know, I have to get above that and go, okay, this is what this construct is. So I'm just going to stay in my little part of it over here and try and find the people that have my delusion and do our thing together.
Or your common threads.
Uh-huh.
So I have tell me what you think about this. Oh, no, that's fine. I won't need to get into that. But as far as an apology, I think this is pretty clean for people to be able to use. So this is a fill in the blanks, right? I did blank. I understand it affected blank. I'm sorry. Here's what I'll be doing differently, right? So that apology, what's important when you apologize, that you don't use the words if, but, no courtroom speech. Just apologize. Stick and move. In and out, right? You don't need to turn it into this big congressional synopsis, right? And no turning your apology into their counseling session. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Like, you come to apologize and then you're going to start psychoanalyzing, you know, the situation and, you know, and all that stuff. That's not up to you.
Right.
That's up to them, right? But again, I think that is a good way. I did.
Yeah, like,
you know,
I'm sorry, but you shouldn't have been hurt.
Yeah.
That shouldn't have bothered you. I didn't mean it that way.
Right. Well, the bad apology example is you don't want to say, I'm sorry you felt that way.
Oh.
I'm sorry you felt that way, because that totally, again, minimizes everything, right? You're sorry that you feel that way. Anyway, we could
that
go,
has its place, but not for a genuine apology. That's when you want to zing somebody.
Yeah. What's better is, I'm sorry I said it that way. It came across disrespectful.
Yeah.
I'm going to slow down, you know, before responding the next time. So again, you acknowledge, and these things go such a long way, you know, for your peace of mind. People coming away, it's more difficult if you do it right for them to have a distasteful taste in their mouth, you know, from whatever mistake happened, because you handled it like a pro, an empathetic, professional human being. Let's put it like that. I think. So let's talk about maybe breaking some patterns. If you have made the same mistake 3 times, let's put a number on it. You know me, I like numbers. 3 times, right? Stop calling it random.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, if you've done a mistake 3 times, it's no longer random.
Nope.
Right?
Nope.
So this is, again, a pattern breaker. So that's step 1. Stop calling your pattern random. Okay. Then go back and identify the trigger. Like, what is it that makes me make this mistake? You know, back in the day, maybe it was, man, every time I eat vanilla ice cream, I want to watch a Barnaby Jones episode. I don't know. I don't know. You know, fine. Identify the trigger. Okay. And then the next thing is change the system, right? So a pattern breaker, right? Stop calling it random. Own it. Identify what's triggering the mistake, the pattern. Change the system somehow. You know, and again, we could think of so many examples. Ask for feedback. Somebody you trust, obviously, somebody that can give you genuine, honest feedback, not being hurtful and stuff like that.
Not trying to kiss your butt either.
Exactly.
Because people will go either way on that one. Some people will be brutal, and other people will just gloss it over.
That's why, man. You know what's crazy is, like, when you occasionally run into a stranger that you, in that moment, seems like this could be somebody that could trust. Again, don't do it all the time, but the stranger, if you tell them just like, hey, you know, I don't know you, you don't know me, we're never going to see each other again, but let me tell you a story, and then I'm going to ask for some feedback from you. Try it. You because then they have no skin in the game.
Absolutely. I would love it if somebody did that with me.
Absolutely.
Oh God, I'd do it all day long. Sure.
And then wouldn't you seriously and genuinely give them the feedback?
Of course. Of course.
Right. And it would be important to you that you actually help them.
Absolutely.
Because they have faith in you.
Of course.
Random faith like that.
And they're looking for
compliment
something.
For them to pick you.
I think so too.
That'd be great.
I love that.
Maybe we'll do figure out some sort of show segment for that.
Okay.
Go out and comfort from strangers or something. I don't know.
Something like that.
Something like that. Okay.
Let's think about that.
Now, the last thing is to create one visible checkpoint, right? Something that like is empirically proven as far as a checkpoint of how I've broken this pattern.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's the last thing.
Yes.
You have to have
like
that.
A plan, like a, some marker, that shows I've been cured, from whatever mistake you're making. Yes.
If your mistake has a schedule, it's not a surprise anymore.
Right.
Right. And so as we normally do, let's offer a little 7-day challenge. So for the next week, if there are any listeners that say, I'm kind of like not to, make, I want to cut down my mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So for 1 week, admit one small mistake quickly. Like if you make a mistake, just bam, just almost be looking forward, just like I'm going to look forward to identifying my first mistake so I can claim it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
This is a challenge.
Yep. Put your reticular activating system on notice.
Yeah, exactly. Then admit one small mistake quickly, fix one repeating pattern. And again, none of us are perfect. It's pretty easy for us to identify a pattern. Just like, I could work on that, right there.
Mm-hmm.
Apologize cleanly if needed with anybody. Ask one person, what am I missing? I seem to make the same mistake over and over again. And I'm trying to think why.
ChatGPT. It will tell you.
Oh yeah. I actually did. Last time I was on, I was curious. I was just like, hey, is there any kind of particular name or a gender, that I should refer, to you as, and it came back just like, yeah, not really. You can call me Coach or Chat GPT, or if you want a nickname, just go GPT.
That's cool.
And I was just like, that was refreshing that they didn't say, my name's Amador and I identify as a
Mine told me its name was Caress.
That's pretty cool, though. I mean, I guess it would probably have to do with what you've been using it for, and the relationship, then so this is just for this show right here. So that's probably where he's saying, Coach, ask one person, what am I missing? And then the last thing is laugh at yourself once without turning it into some sort of self-hate, type of thing.
Absolutely.
We got to laugh at ourselves.
Well, and we have to give ourselves grace.
Yeah.
Like this negative self-talk crap that we do, beating ourselves up all day long, has got to stop. And you can stop it. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to do. Mine used to be brutal. And it took me 3 days of, I did Louise Hay's techniques, which is you just repeat over and over and over in your head silently as often as you can.
Yeah.
I love myself. I'm proud of myself. I approve of myself over and over and over and over and over again. It feels ridiculous.
Yeah.
At first, it feels so stupid.
Yeah.
But your subconscious doesn't know the difference.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
It works. It absolutely works.
I have a couple of stickies up around my place. So closing thoughts, Kel, what do you think about mistakes? Everything we talked about today.
I think this was great because we all make them. It's absolutely unavoidable. As humans, we're designed, this construct is very sticky. It's designed to trip us up. It's a maze. It's a video game. And so we're going to make mistakes. We can't not. It's part of how we're supposed to evolve. A bunch of us haven't caught on to that fact yet.
It's going to happen. Would you want to add anything, any techniques or any personal insights of what you do or anything like that?
Yeah, I would say if it's something that it's pretty egregious, meaning it affects multiple people, the first thing you want to do, if it's something like right in the middle of the moment and people are ganging up on you, there's not a whole lot you can do. Own it, apologize, and then debrief later, try and figure out what happened. But if it's something that's, taking place over time, or it's not like an in the moment thing, get with yourself quietly and breathe and regulate your body and just feel it. Feel the whole weight of feel the feeling,
where it's coming from,
and then name it out loud. I'm humiliated. I'm shamed. I'm whatever. I'm mortified. I'm scared. I'm whatever. Name it. And then where are you feeling it in your body? And then talk to it. Just say, hey, you know what? We've done this before, or we've never done this before. What can we do to not do it again? We didn't die. It's okay. It's whatever, if you get rejected, dismissed, broken up with, whatever, because of it, then
there's that lesson.
There's that lesson. It was, there was nothing else you were going to be able to do. You don't get caught on it. Don't get stuck there.
Exactly.
Don't
get stuck.
Don't get stuck.
That's the big thing.
You can feel it. You want to feel it. You want to go into it, but you can't live there.
It sounds like what you're sharing there is healing.
Mm-hmm. Heal. It's exactly great.
It's healing.
You hit it. That's it. You let it heal. You let it heal. You have to allow it. We're the ones that keep that shit going.
Yes.
Over and over and over, ruminating on
and all
that
the other
one thing we did 50 years ago.
The other things, the ego-based cover-up, denial, blaming, that's damage control.
Right.
Right. You're in kind of emergency damage control instead of being calculated and
deliberate, intentional.
And deliberate. Exactly. That's a better word. Being very deliberate, understanding, accepting this is part of life. I don't strive to make mistakes. Right. But when they do, I can rest easy that there's a process that I have. No matter how mundane or serious the mistake may be, I'm going to be okay, and I'm going to make sure that I do everything that I can to make sure everybody else is okay.
Right.
Whatever is within my power and ability. And
I think where we get stuck is the ones where we think we should have known better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like mistakes that you make where you had no idea, you could have never known, there's nothing you could do. That's, oh shit, I fucked up.
Yeah.
Boy, what a mess that was.
You're talking about something where
but I think where we get stuck in the cover up. Yeah.
I'm going to roll the dice. Things are probably going to turn out okay, but then when they don't,
Right. Or, I've had this much experience, I've done this before, I know this, da-da-da-da-da-da. So logically or naturally, I should have known this.
Yeah. Yeah. Or I've done this 1,000 times and nothing has ever happened before.
Right.
Now, this one time. Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's go ahead. Get on out of here. You got things to do on a Friday night.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do tonight.
I'm going to figure something out. I know I got to get somebody over to downtown Reno here pretty soon. But today we talked about mistakes, episode 54 of What's the Matter podcast. Funny mistakes, painful ones, ego-driven ones, and the ones that become patterns. Carol's talking about, we refuse to learn. Now, after last week's little bliss topic, again, or not last week, but the episode 53, practically walked into the studio and sat down. So that's why I wanted to kind of, talk to him and say we owned it, right? We want to own it. We laughed at it, turned it into tools, as we always do. So coming up soon, we are going to still have What's the Matter with Girl Power. Hopefully with local powerhouse Shirley Larkin. She let us know she's going to be available after August 3rd. So we'll try to schedule that.
We should have Adrian in on that one too.
Adrian, maybe. I don't know.
That would be cool.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, Shirley, real estate broker, mom, wife, music lover, full force personality. You're going to love her, Kel. That episode is going to be fun. And so we're also lining up What's the Matter with Entertainment. That is August 12th, featuring local entrepreneur Jared Araguini with Jam Entertainment. We're going to talk about organizing, coordinating, reading the room, solving problems, all the things that happen before somebody goes, it's showtime. So, yeah, want to thank Kel again for coming in, the creator and producer of the show. Till then, be vigilant, be kind, and always remember that what you say matters. This is the G-Man for Kel. See ya! Where is it? There we go.